What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to the Best Buy Black Friday 2019 ad walkthrough. Of course, in years past, I have gone through and made one giant video giving you the best gaming and tech deals that I could find from Best Buy, Target, GameStop, and Walmart, but this year I thought I would do a walkthrough of each individual ad. Now, over the past 2 days, I have done breakdowns of the Target and Walmart ads. Now we are diving into Best Buy. Tomorrow is going to be GameStop, giving you guys plenty of time to make sure you know where you need to go on Thanksgiving or the day after. So here is the Black Friday landing for Best Buy, and I will say, as compared to the layouts of the Target and Walmart ads, not exactly my favorite way to go about perusing the wares, so to speak, because it's not on a page-by-page basis. Everything is pretty much broken down into categories, so you might accidentally overlook something if you just say click and go straight to the video games tab here. Instead, let's just do a walkthrough of the deals available in the Doorbusters category. So of course, as you would expect, as every retailer has, the big TVs are front and center, and I will say, although this $750 Samsung 75-inch is a very good deal, the best deal is the fact that if you do get any TV from Best Buy, you actually get a free Amazon Echo Dot with the purchase. That's a pretty good deal, considering just how much I use my Dot. I got one for $1 from Amazon during one of their promotions. Fantastic addition to my home smart setup. Now, I will say, outside of that, there isn't too much that stands out on the homepage. Of course, we're not here to do a breakdown of every big TV deal, but I will say, scrolling down, you do get to the first big video games deal that we see, and that is $27.99 for select video games. Now, the ones that are mentioned here include this year's sports games on top of Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Borderlands 3. As I have been saying over the past 2 days, Breakpoint not in a good spot right now considering the quality of the game, but in a couple of months it probably will improve, and of course, as you see, the people on Best Buy have rated it a 4.0 right now, so there really is nowhere to go but up. If I had to choose one from this lineup outside of the sports titles, needless to say, Borderlands 3 is going to take the cake. A very good game with tons of content packed into it. But these prices do generally reflect what you are going to be finding from other retailers as well when it comes to this year's biggest sports games. $30 is pretty much going to get you a copy of NBA 2K20, FIFA 20, or Madden NFL 20. NHL, not really in the mix. For some reason, it could be a bit more than the traditional kind of game. Maybe it's because it is a niche audience. I don't know. That is up for debate. But at Best Buy, you can get, again, 3 big sports games and 2 of the year's biggest AAA releases for $27.99. But Borderlands 3, the standout deal here on the Doorbusters page. Now, going on to the actual video games tab itself, there are some deals worth mentioning, but you don't really get to any until you get down to the actual Nintendo Switch games themselves. But I did want to address something, and that is the fact that the Nintendo Switch is front and center, and the best deal on the Nintendo Switch page is the fact that you can save $20 on select Joy-Con controllers. If you are familiar with Nintendo, their prices don't tend to fluctuate that much, and so $20 on an actual peripheral licensed from Nintendo, developed by Nintendo, produced by Nintendo, that's a pretty good deal. Now, I want to remind you guys that this is going to be something that stands out over the course of the holiday season, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Nintendo Switch bundle. For $2.99, you can get a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle that includes the Red and the red and neon blue Joy-Con. There we go. And on top of that, a free screen protector from Best Buy. But make sure you are getting the new model of the Nintendo Switch, because if you don't, you are going to be getting the older model that has poor battery life, and nobody wants to get the older model of the Nintendo Switch. So with that being taken into consideration, not too much to go through aside from the save $20 on select Joy-Con here on the top portion of the Nintendo Switch ad. Now diving into the games themselves, $40 will get you Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Mario Party, or Splatoon 2. These are not the best deals on Black Friday. Again, specifically talking about Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, those are both $30 at Target as discussed on yesterday's video. So you might want to go to the red retailer instead of the blue and yellow retailer to get these deals. Now moving on to the $19.99 select Switch titles on sale. You can find some pretty good diamonds in the rough here. Now again, as discussed, this is not the best price, but still a good price for Crash Bandicoot's N. Sane Trilogy, which is going to be $20, in addition to Rocket League, which is another standout, tons of LEGO titles, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, a game that has gotten a patch on the Nintendo Switch in recent days, is also $19.99. I would pass on Contra Rogue Core, not that good of a game, but you do have Into the Gungeon for $20. So ultimately, those are the standouts. If I had to choose one or two, Into the Gungeon is always going to be a good time. But in addition to that, I would say the Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy is the standout for the Nintendo Switch 1999 preview. Now, on top of that, a couple of other peripherals are on sale. I wouldn't go for this SanDisk 128GB micro SD card for $35. It does have a picture of the famous Mario mushroom on it, but there is no reason to spend $35 on this when you can get a cheaper chip on Amazon by far. Now, on top of that, there are some select Switch and 3DS titles on sale, including some standouts, which are Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for $39.99, a phenomenal game on the Wii U, even more phenomenal on the Nintendo Switch. On top of that, you have the recently released Disney classics Aladdin and the Lion King for $20, Spyro's Reignited Trilogy on the Nintendo Switch for $25, The Witcher 3 on Switch for $45. Not that good of a deal. I would hold off on that one, but if you do want to get one of the generation's biggest games on the go, then hey, that's the first time I have seen it on sale this holiday season. Now, on top of those, I'm seeing some Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon standouts here, but outside of that, it looks like those are pretty much the big deals from the Nintendo Switch and 3DS title sales on BestBuy.com. Notable mention here, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, a very recent release down to $20, and it has gotten some pretty stellar reviews, so definitely give that one a look. Continuing on down, you can save between 20 and 50% on some select Switch accessories. Nothing really standing out to me here that really needs to be addressed. Most of this is Insignia, which is Best Buy's brand, so they're fine, not great, not bad. They're just fine accessories. But for $14.99 or less, you can get some family-friendly games, including Starlink Battle for Atlas, the starter pack featuring Star Fox, which is pretty cool. But outside of that, the only other standout that I really noticed was Rayman Legends, which has been given away for free on other platforms, but for the Switch version of the game, then sure, why not? Now, for $25, you can get some very good Switch games, which include Diablo 3's Eternal Collection, Overwatch Legendary Edition, Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch, Final Fantasy XII, Final Fantasy X/10-2 HD Remastered, and even more. But then there are some other platforms mixed in as well, with Judgment for $25, Persona Q, I believe I saw over here, WoW, Q2, New Cinema Labyrinth for $25 on the 3DS. But again, definitely something to parse through here because some of these deals might not be the best. I remember Judgment being on the Target ad as well, but for the big standouts of the $25 tier, Overwatch and Diablo 3 on the Nintendo Switch are the ones you should definitely be paying attention to. So then we move on to the PlayStation 4 portion of the ad, which I must admit is pretty good, I suppose, whenever everything is considered. But you do see this year's big holiday bundle, the PlayStation 4 1TB with The Last of Us Remastered, God of War, and Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, with $100 knocked off of the MSRP price of $299, bringing it down to $199. If you're in the market for a console, this is a pretty good one to get. Then Modern Warfare is just $1 more than its price at Walmart, which was $38. Now you can get it for $39.99, so technically $2 more. But again, $20 off one of this year's biggest releases that came out just a few weeks back. You can save $30 on a Sony Gold wireless headset, which I must admit is a pretty good deal. This is one of the best headsets you can find right now when it comes to PlayStation headsets, and it's definitely one worth considering if you are in the market for something that might up your audio game whenever you are playing on console. They knocked $100 off PSVR bundles, which is a pretty good deal. You see the same bundle that we saw on Target's ad yesterday with PlayStation Worlds, Skyrim, Astrobot, Resident Evil 7, and Everybody's Golf VR, which is a pretty good deal if you do want to break into the world of VR. But now we get into the good stuff, which includes $19.99 for select PS4 titles, including this year's Days Gone, a standout title that I think got robbed of a very big award at this year's Game Awards. Then the Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy is down to $20, MLB The Show 19 for $20, and Medieval, the standard edition, for $20 as well. Out of all of these games, Days Gone is one you should definitely consider, but all of them are standout titles that I must admit I am very impressed to see. Now, this is where we get into the good stuff. For $10, you get pretty much all of the PlayStation hits. Of course, $10 a piece. You have, oh my god, $10 for God of War, one of 2018's best games, my personal game of the year for 2018, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, The Last of Us Remastered, PlayStation Hits, the Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection, you have Uncharted 4, Persona 5, Neo, Ratchet & Clank, Little Big Planet 3, Bloodborne, everything that has stood out this generation is pretty much going to be $10. I mean, you have Until Dawn, God of War 3, Remastered, of course, and Anthem, which that didn't stand out, and then, of course, a couple of Yakuza games. Out of the the $10 tier here with the PlayStation Hits, do keep in mind some of these games have been given away for free as part of PlayStation Plus, and rumors are circulating that last year's God of War is going to be December's PlayStation Plus headliner. So, of course, with Neo being recently given away for free, I believe Ratchet & Clank was also a freebie, Bloodborne has been as well. Check your backlog and make sure that you didn't redeem those freebies on the PlayStation Network, but many of these worth mentioning. The standout, God of War for $10, you need to get that. That's the lowest price I've seen this holiday season, and that can pretty much be said for all of these PlayStation Hits. For $15, you can get some pretty good deals as well, with Resident Evil 2's remake that came out earlier this year for, again, $15. Marvel's Spider-Man Game of the Year Edition, which includes all of the DLC. Oh man, that's a really good deal. Kingdom Hearts 3 for $15 on top of stuff like The Division 2 and Battlefield 5 in addition to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So some of these games have some age on them, specifically talking about Battlefield 5 and of course Assassin's Creed. But I will say, there is a lot to be said about Battlefield 5. It's one of the best games that I have played this generation in terms of Battlefield games. And on top of that, all the DLC and updates have been free, so you can jump right into the fray without having a season pass. But for $15, the standout, Resident Evil 2 by far. On top of that, honorable mention to The Division 2. That's a game that didn't get the love it deserved because of the time that it came out at. But again, Resident Evil 2, totally worth getting for this Black Friday. Now, scrolling down, they reiterate the $27.99 tier, which includes those 5 games from the Doorbuster section of the homepage. You can check those out once again if you would like. But now the $15 tier for a second time has some standout titles that are multi-platform. You have Far Cry New Dawn and Devil May Cry 5 as the two big ones that I really see. Specifically, Devil May Cry 5, a very well-received game that is continuing Capcom's year of domination. I mean, between Monster Hunter World Iceborne and Devil May Cry 5 on top of the Resident Evil 2 remake, very much so doing well this year. But on top of that, you also have Assassin's Creed 3 on the Nintendo Switch, Shenmue's 1 and 2 if you might be prepping to play Shenmue 3, and additionally, Yakuza 6 The Song of Life Essence of Art Edition, a special edition that comes with an art book and, of course, a special case for the game, is only going for 15 bones. But the standouts here for me, personally, just by my taste, include Far Cry New Dawn and Devil May Cry 5. Now moving on, there is the $19.99 or less tier, which includes some standout games. Forza Horizon 4, one of the generation's best-looking racing games. On top of that, Nier Automata and Metro Exodus, both $20 a piece. Now, continuing to scroll, I don't really see any kind of standouts here that really scream, I need to be played, so to speak, but there are some games worth checking out, including the Devil May Cry HD Collection for $12.99, which is a very good deal, and of course, the recently released Disney Classics Aladdin and the Lion King for $14.99, which is $5 cheaper on the PS4 and the Xbox One as compared to the Nintendo Switch. Before diving into the Xbox One portion of the ad, I do want to mention save on select titles include Need for Speed Heat for $40, which is pretty much lined up with what you would expect from this year's Black Friday sale, considering how early in the life cycle of this Need for Speed game the sales are. In addition, Shenmue 3 for $35, a game that just came out, a very good price for that. And Code Vein, a game that I watched a playthrough of on Twitch, is also on sale for $39.99, a very cool looking game if you are a fan of the Souls-style combat. Scrolling through the rest, you have Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, which includes all of the DLC for $30. In addition to this, I suppose maybe Greedfall would be another one that I would also mention, because this is pretty much an indie, giant open-world RPG that I heard fantastic things about. It didn't get the love it deserved because, again, it's from an indie team, so not too many people know about the game itself. But there are some games in the Select Titles preview that you should definitely give a look, especially Need for Speed Heat, which has been redeemed, or at least it has redeemed the Need for Speed series for a lot of fans, including myself. Moving on to the final portion of the ad, you have the Xbox One section, which includes a ton of good deals on consoles, and the headliner here is the Xbox One X 1TB with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the Deluxe Edition, and on top of that, they throw in 3 months of Xbox Live Gold, a very solid deal, and that doesn't even count once you get in the box. Of course, you get some free trials and whatnot, a couple of weeks of Xbox Game Pass and Live, but this is a very good price for the most powerful console on the market right now. In fact, traditionally, this Black Friday, it seems they're going for $399, so you're saving essentially an extra $50 if you get the console at Best Buy. Now, continuing on, the Xbox One S 1TB all-digital edition does come with Minecraft Sea of Thieves and a Fortnite skins pack. So this is a good deal for those that are trying to get a kid into the gaming world for the first time, or that might just be looking for a casual kind of gaming experience. A very good deal, and as I said on previous episodes of the Black Friday coverage, you do have the option to get Game Pass as well, which adds a ton of value to the all-digital edition of the Xbox One S. But I do want to reiterate, once again, that this is the digital version of the console. You cannot buy any physical games with the Xbox One S All-Digital Edition, hence the all-digital name. And essentially cutting out that disc drive saves you $50 in the long run this Black Friday. Is it worth it? That's ultimately up to you. Now, right beside that, you do have one more console bundle, which includes the Xbox One S 1TB with NBA 2K20. It's a fine bundle if you are into NBA, and again, this is the entry-level version of the Xbox One console, but it does have a disc drive, so you can play physical games. As far as the accessories go, save $20 or $25 on Xbox One controllers, excluding the Elite controller, is a solid deal if you did want to actually dive in and get an official Xbox One controller. But these headsets and these charging things are kind of passable. But $30 for select titles include NHL 20, which is a very good deal. In fact, this is the lowest price on Black Friday that I have seen NHL. In addition to this, Control is also going for $30, which is a phenomenal deal for one of the year's most overlooked games. And of course, I would pass on WWE 2K20 entirely because that game is currently a steaming pile of garbage. In the $25 tier, the headline is Red Dead Redemption 2. This is the lowest price I have seen for Red Dead this Black Friday. It generally goes for between $30 and $40. Now, it's going for $25 at Best Buy on Black Friday. On top of that, this year's Gears 5 and Mortal Kombat 11 are both $25 a piece, in addition to Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. So if you did want any of the year's biggest titles, including one that is up for a couple of nominations here for the Game Awards, then by all means, you can in fact dive in and get them for $25 a piece. Then for $19.99, you can get Rage 2. On top of that, Wolfenstein Youngblood, the recently released Concrete Genie, also a big notable one for the $20 tier. In addition, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition and Hitman 2, both $30 a piece, and that pretty much rounds out the standouts for me for the $19.99 tier under the Xbox One tab. Now, if I had to choose one, I would say Concrete Genie, but I do want to reiterate, as I said on yesterday's show, Rage 2 is now included with Xbox Game Pass, and with all of the games you are buying, ensure that you don't already have them included with a subscription, a streaming service, any kind of free redemption through Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus, because in today's day and age where so many companies are giving away games, it's very easy to actually overlook it and not realize that you might already have what you are going to buy. But standout for me is Concrete Genie in the $20 tier. Overwhelmingly though, Wolfenstein Youngblood, haven't heard great things about. Pretty passable game, actually. Before we round out today's video, I do want to say that if you have an Xbox One or you might be getting one this Black Friday, then you can get some very good deals on some subscription services. In fact, 3 months of Xbox Live Gold goes for $15 at Best Buy. On top of that, 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which includes Xbox Live Gold and the PC and console versions of Xbox Game Pass, is going for only $25, which is a phenomenal price for a very, very good subscription service. So hey, save you a couple of bucks over the next few months. But that rounds out our Best Buy Black Friday 2019 coverage. Of course, as always, dive into the ad for yourself and make sure that I didn't miss anything that you might really want. On top of that, check out the Target and Walmart videos that I've made. They're pretty in-depth breakdowns in the same kind of format as this. And stay tuned for tomorrow's GameStop breakdown because there's still plenty of Black Friday to come. But until next time, have a phenomenal rest of your day and peace.